Welcome to our Rule of Life conversation. We are building a rule of life, and you can do that right in the church app. You can begin to kind of add practices, daily habits, weekly habits, monthly habits, annual habits. You can begin to kind of construct a rule of life, which, like a trellis in a vineyard, a rule of life is just a tool empowering us, like the grapes, to be off the ground, on the trellis, more readily pruned, flourishing because they're not on the ground, subject to disease, infection, or scavengers. And so a trellis is just a tool. The whole idea of a good trellis is that whatever the vine is, if it's a grapevine, the grapes flourish. If it's a beautiful flowering plant, the plant flourishes. A rule of life can help you flourish in your spiritual walk. Rule comes from the Latin regula, which means the literal meaning is like a long stick of wood. It's where we get the notion of a yardstick. And so the rhythm of inches kind of gives us an ability to measure something and to build something. That's what we want to do. We want to kind of develop a way to measure our spiritual engagement and build something, build the kind of life where we are learning to trust God more, to walk in a sense of deeper and more consistent relationship with Jesus. When that happens, we are transformed. Information is about acquiring knowledge, but spiritual formation is about acquiring practices. So the scriptures remind us and tell us over and over and over. Jesus himself said, if you put my words into practice, you will be blessed. So what we want to do is not just know about Jesus, admire him, recognize that he's a great teacher, listen to what he said. We want to do what he did. We want to practice what he practiced. When Jesus said, come to me all you're weary and burdened and I will give you rest, he was inviting us to follow him and to do what he does. When he says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light, he's saying, yoke up with me. In other words, come along with me and do what I do. So a rule of life empowers us to kind of lay out some daily practices of Bible engagement or prayer. And there's lots of nuances. You'll notice in our video library, you can have several different elements of prayer that you could have in your rule of life. Several different ways to engage scripture in your rule of life. And so what we want you to do is build a rule of life, practice for a while, and then modify. Go back and adjust and add some things and subtract some things, because you can customize your own rule of life, your own set of behaviors and practices that will empower you more and more to walk in tandem with the Spirit. Sense God's presence. Die to your flesh. So there is a little matrix that we talk about. I draw a circle oftentimes, and I'll talk about the purpose of a rule of life is the vertical axis. The process of a rule of life is the horizontal axis. In the vertical, you have love God and love others. That's the purpose. That's why we would follow Jesus. We would want to follow Jesus, to know God, to be like him, to be formed in his image for the sake of others. And we would, if we're living like Jesus, then we're going to have a deep, intimate love relationship with God, and we're going to have a growing, intimate relationship with others, all kinds of others, not just people that are like us, but people that are nothing like us. The purpose, the process of a rule of life is learning to do a couple things, and each one of the practices kind of build either a greater ability to resist our flesh, resist the patterns of this world, to resist an ideology that doesn't factor God in but factors him out, to embrace a paradigm of God in all things, to embrace a daily relationship with Christ through prayer, through Bible engagement, to embrace the community of faith. When we learn to do this correct resistance and this healthy embrace, we are slowly not just informed, but we are transformed. So we're super excited about you building your own rule of life. Jump in, start building yours on the church app here. If you want more details and more videos, follow our link to our website so you can watch a video on each one of the possible practices and then begin to daily engage those or weekly engage those, and let us know how we can help you. The rule of life is not intended to be static, but dynamic. It doesn't stay the same. It will grow and flex and expand along with you as you foster your own walk and relationship with Jesus. Our prayer is that you will begin to live by a rule of life, because you make your habits and then your habits make you. So why not make the kind of habits that cultivate a deepening love relationship with Christ and others, so you can reflect Him to a broken world. Our prayer is that you will see this become a reality as you take these steps. Please give us your input, your feedback, and let us continue to help you construct the kind of life where intimacy with God and others is a daily occurrence. God bless.